Welcome to Called to Homeschool with your host, Meg Thomas. I am a mother of 7 with 5 homeschool graduates. Each week, we'll talk about real-life homeschool, mindset shifts, and practical tools you can use in your home. Because homeschooling isn't just about school, it's about restoring the family. Hello, welcome back to Called to Homeschool. I am excited to have a voice again this week. I got so sick for the last couple of weeks, so thank you for bearing with me. Just a quick reminder that I'm doing my first in-person homeschool workshop at the end of June, and I'm really excited about this because we are going to spend the first half of the workshop talking about the roadmap of creating an amazing homeschool, an amazing home, really, and the steps you need to do that. And I love that we're going to do it in person and actually going to be there with you. So for all your questions, we're right there. We're going to do it in a really intimate group. I'm actually capping it at only 10 people. And so I just want to give everybody adequate time for their questions, have a ton of fun of that. So we'll do the first half with really the steps of creating an amazing home. So you always have something to come back to with that. We'll have lunch together, which will be provided. And then the last half of the workshop, I will be helping you create your homeschool for the next year. And we'll be doing my workbook, and you'll be getting your workbook of the 30 days to ease into homeschooling. So whether or not you're new to homeschooling, you've been doing it for a little bit, and you just need a little bit of fine tuning, or there's a lot of contention in your homeschool, you just want to feel a little bit more confident, come and check it out. So you can go find that at my website, www.coachmegthomas.com. And you can also sign up on my Instagram, Coach Meg Thomas. And just a reminder too, because these are going to be in Utah, and when the spots are gone, they're gone. But if you're outside of Utah and you're like, Meg, I really need this in my life, how do I get this workshop into my area? Just message me and I will talk to you about how I will come to you. So really excited about that. Okay, for today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about something really important. And this is something I just don't think we talk enough about in homeschooling, right? Because so many times with homeschooling, people are so worried about the curriculum and grade levels and reading levels and keeping up. But education was meant to be so much bigger than just academics. And so that's why this podcast is raising the whole child, because homeschooling and really parenting in life is so much more than academics. Can you imagine if we treated adults like this, where your academics were everything once you were in mid-20s, right? In your 30s, 40s plus, it was like, well, what level can you read? What grade level are you at, right? Like all the silly things of, do you know this math? Do you know this? I don't know why we do this to children. I think it's so weird. And we are teaching them, but there's so much more to life than just straight academics. Now, I think learning is super important, but I want to raise a whole child, just not an academic little kid. Today, I want to talk about what Charlotte Mason talked about and believed in deeply, that we are raising whole people, not just teaching subjects. So what does whole child mean? Charlotte Mason believed children are people. They are souls, thinkers, creators, relational beings, not just brains to fill up with information. She believed education should shape their character, their habits, attention, emotional health, curiosity, responsibility, relationships, and wonder. You are not just raising a student. You are raising someone's future spouse, your grandchildren's parent. You're raising someone who knows how to be a friend, a leader, a follower of Christ, a human being, a neighbor, right? So remembering that can change how we homeschool. Because academics, although they are important, they are only a piece and a part of our education. A child that learns kindness, diligence, honesty, emotional regulation, responsibility, life skills, cooking, cleaning, handiwork, and self-control, just to name a few, is being educated. When your child learns to apologize, knows how to help, and helps with dinner, practices self-control, learns to work through frustrations or push through when things are hard, they know how to contribute to the family. Those things matter deeply. Sometimes homeschool moms feel discouraged because they may say, we did not get enough school done today. But maybe you worked through a family conflict calmly. Your child practiced responsibility. Your family connected. Your child learned perseverance. That is a meaningful education. Charlotte Mason said education is an atmosphere, a discipline, a life. So atmosphere, the feeling of the home matters. Peace matters. Connection matters. I often teach people with atmosphere of thinking about it of different places you've gone to. So maybe you've gone to a spa before. And what does a spa do? They are very intentional with the atmosphere. From the paint color on the walls to the music. Do they have incense or some type of essential oils in the air, right? And maybe they talk calmly and speak quietly, right? And they're really intentional with the atmosphere that they are trying to create. On the other hand, think of something like an arcade. And what is the atmosphere they're creating there? It is loud, there's bright lights and music, right? They're really intentional with this atmosphere that they're trying to create. And so when you intentionally create that atmosphere in your home, how amazing that is. And some of the ideas for creating the intentional atmosphere you want in your home is what music plays in your home, right? Or is it just a TV on all the time? I think easy ways to have beautiful music are just, I utilize Spotify, but I'm sure a lot of people have Apple Music or whatever you use, YouTube, whatever, of classical music. There are so many playlists of classical music for kids. If you utilize YouTube, there are really fun piano videos of somebody playing the piano and the piano lights up, right? Of just being intentional with the music. But maybe your music is really fun. We once were studying Beethoven, and so we were trying to find music that translated into modern times, and we found a fifth of Beethoven from the 70s. And it's like this full disco funky song, and just having a lot of fun with that, of like da 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 dun 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 da da da, right? And just this like groovy music of, we were learning about Beethoven and being really intentional that music can be fun too. The artwork you have in your home, the pictures you have on your walls, just all the different things in your home, of being really intentional with the atmosphere you want. So are you creating the spa-like? Maybe you like that really calm like feeling. Maybe you like the arcade type feeling where it's really loud, right? I love the idea of come as you are in my home. I like the idea of being a lighthouse and like a safe haven, a beacon to always bring you back home of comfort, of safety, of those beautiful things. So thinking about that, of what is the atmosphere we're creating in my home, right? And having children be a part of creating that family culture, but being really intentional with it. With discipline, this is where I love Charlotte Mason is so big on habits and how habits matter. Their character matters. Small daily actions shape a child over time. And then life. And children need living ideas, books, nature, beauty, conversation, meaningful work, not just worksheets and information. Now, that doesn't mean that there's never any books or structured learning, but there's so much more to being educated and life than just a workbook, right? There's so much more. And homeschool gets to be so much more fun when you are focusing on this whole child. So a big part of our homeschool has always been life skills and habits, because honestly, homeschooling becomes so much easier when your kids learn responsibility, contribution, self-control, and independence. Charlotte Mason said, "The mother who takes pains to endow her children with good habits secures for herself smooth and easy days, while she who lets habits take care of themselves has a weary life of endless friction with her children." So it's so interesting because when we started homeschooling, my oldest was only 6, 5 little kids, right? And we actually tried hiring a cleaner for a little bit, but it wasn't in our budget to keep that up. And so it quickly just became my responsibility with these 5 little kids that I'm with now all the time. And so beautiful that sometimes when you get put into an intense situation, you either like become better or you allow it to shut you down. And it really, these habits of having my kids do the laundry together, teaching them how to clean, teaching them how to cook. It was messy and chaotic at times, but as we practiced those things, it paid off. And like Charlotte Mason said, it creates the smooth and easy days that it got so much better. It was so interesting. So we were doing, 5 kids, my husband and I, so 7 people's laundry all at once. And we would chuck all their laundry into the kitchen and would teach them how to sort it all together. I would switch it from washing machine to dryer. They could pull it out and then we would fold it all together, right? And it was interesting how my older kids started doing their laundry quicker on their own because they're like, I don't have to help with all of these people's laundry. But then we would get to it too as they got really big, that then they would take on a buddy and teach them how to do their laundry. So now I just do mine and my husband's laundry, and it's so nice and so easy. When we were learning how to cook, one of my darlings set an apron on fire on accident and then threw it out. We threw it out into the garage because it was on fire and didn't realize it wasn't out all the way and started melting the rug out there, right? We got it all taken care of, right? So it was a little bit messy and a little bit chaotic, but now my kids can all cook. And even as I'm recording this, I have a kid out there who actually can drive. And so I hadn't gone grocery shopping. And this kid is like, hey, just give me your card. I'll go to the store. I'll get all the ingredients, and is out there cooking like this really yummy, beautiful dinner. And so like these habits are amazing and so like bless your life in so many ways. So this summer, I want to help you focus on some simple but meaningful habits and life skills that can help both you and your children. My hope is that by the time fall comes, your homeschool feels calmer, smoother, and easier. So starting next week, I'm going to begin a 6-week series focused on practical life skills for kids. Each week, we're going to focus on one new skill: laundry, meals, dishes, cleaning spaces, yard work, organization, and time management. Now, you absolutely do not have to have your children master these skills in 1 week. You can spend 2 weeks or even longer on each one. The goal is simply progress. The idea is that by the end of summer, your children have stronger habits, greater capability, and more ownership in the home, which helps your homeschool run so much more smoothly. So I'm going to be posting all of this just for free on my Instagram and Facebook at Coach Meg Thomas. And I want to invite you to follow along. I've challenged a lot of clients to do this with their kids during the summertime. And even letting them know, like, hey, we're going to learn these amazing skills. And as we master them, we're going to have a little party. Maybe that's at the end of the summer or the end of each week or the end of 2 weeks, however you want to break it up. And it can be so simple as going out for ice cream. Or if you're like, no, I love to do a big party, we're going to do a big party. I love doing things too. We don't go out to a restaurant very much, right? So if like, hey, we're going to go to a restaurant or go to a movie, something that's a little bit more fun. Like, as you master these skills, we're going to do these fun things, and really making it a fun, positive thing. So as you're doing this too, I just want to remind you that this isn't about control and like forcing them and making them, but as you really focus on the connection with your children, right, and guiding them and mentoring them instead of forcing them, your children are so much more teachable. And even though they may not be excited about making a dinner or yard work or whatever it is, that they can learn to push through and learn to do these hard things. And it will make your life so much smoother and easier as your children can help run the household. So you do not have to choose between academics and life skills. These things work together. I've had so many clients who just feel completely burned out with homeschool, and part of it is because they're planning all the homeschool, teaching their kids, and running the whole house by themselves. And then their kids are sitting around being kids or running around the neighborhood, playing, doing all their fun things, extracurricular activities, and mom's now feeling resentful. And so I've seen, as I've helped different, like my own home, as we've done these things, as I've helped different clients do these things, that resentment goes away because we become a team and a unit of like, hey, we're all working together to create something amazing. So it's not just mom doing everything and then being mad and yelling at everybody and resentful that they're not helping, but instead teaching them how to do it, because it ultimately gives them the most amazing life ever, that they have this independence and this confidence and the skills and knowledge of how to take care of themselves and in their life. So you are raising a whole child, and this kind of education goes way beyond childhood. Homeschooling is not just preparing children for tests, it's preparing them for life. So make sure you follow me on social media at Coach Meg Thomas, and I will be sharing different tips and ideas with some of these each week to help you create these amazing life skills to make your homeschool days much more smooth and easy. Have a great week, friends, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for listening to Call to Homeschool. If today's episode was helpful, the best way you can support the show is by leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps more homeschool moms find this work, and I appreciate it so much.